Okay. I don't think they can hear
The
us.
countdown before. Good evening, everybody. The Newton Planning Board would like to hold a public meeting on August 22nd, 2023 at 7:02 p.m. at the Newton Town Hall. First order of business, I would like to salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry. So the first item on the agenda tonight is a lot line adjustment for Daniel J. Fiera, is that correct? Ferrara, thank you, and Holly Toohey of Newton, New Hampshire, requesting lot line adjustment between their properties at 39 and 41 Country Pond Road. The property is referenced as tax map 5, block 1, lot 1-1, and tax map 5, block 1, lot 1-2. Ms. Rowden, do you have any comments on this? I know you're remote tonight. Do I have to, before I continue, do I have to check in Mr. Gibbons or appoint Mr. Gibbons?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
We can. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Perfect. Did you get that, Jim? Can I appoint Mr. Gibbons as a, I guess we don't actually need him as a voting member, but, and Miss White and Miss Eddy are, or Mrs. Eddy are remote as well. We have a full house tonight.
So you can't appoint him as a voting
Yeah.
member?
You just get to hang out with us
That's
tonight.
cool. That's all right. I'm learning.
Do you have any, Jen, any comments on the application?
Yep, the lot line is conforming to your regulations. It doesn't create any new buildable lots. It's just to account for the boundary issue that they're wanting to rectify. So other than that, I have no further comments.
Awesome, I appreciate it. Would the applicant like to come up to the podium and discuss your application? Sorry about that.
I'm Dan Ferrara. I'm here because my foundation was put in too close to my sister's property line, so she was nice enough to give me some of her property to make it work. So that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Just a little piece.
Just a slice.
Okay,
Basically it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to take jurisdiction of the application?
Make a motion on planning board take jurisdiction.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Mr. Eddy?
Aye.
Mr. Marshall?
Aye.
Ms. Burke?
Aye.
Ms. Eddy?
Aye.
Mr. Moran?
Hi.
And Mr. Ryan?
Oh, what do you say? Sorry.
That was not anonymous. Is there any comments from the public? Hearing none. Can I have a?
I'll
yes.
make a
Oh, just,
motion.
Mr. Chair, the recommended conditions precedent, number 1 has actually been taken care of. They supplied one this evening. The engineer supplied one with the corrected title block.
Okay. Perfect.
I'll make a motion to approve the lot line adjustment.
Second.
Or, I should say lot 1-1 and lot 1-2 of 39 and 41 Country Pond Road.
And just for clarification, or for information, the board has found the following findings of fact for this application. And I can state this, right? I'm just making sure I'm allowed to do this, even though I didn't make the motion. Perfect. That the site plan falls within the applicable scope of the zoning and site plan regulations for a lot line adjustment where no new lot is created, and that justice would be served by approving the application. That's just for your information, some change in the RSA statutes that we have to have a finding of fact of why we're approving or denying an application, just so it's public record.
And there
So
would be,
Mr. Marchand and seconded by Mr. Eddy.
just double checking before I take the vote, does that include the 2 boilerplates about supplying the recordable Mylar? And in this case, it's removing an existing bound point.
Right, the conditions, proposed conditions.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. White,
Aye.
Mr. Eddy,
Aye.
Mr. Marchand,
Aye.
Ms. Burke,
Aye.
Ms. Eddy,
Aye.
Mr. Ryan,
Aye.
Mr. Moran.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Thank you. You guys are all set. That was it?
That's it.
Good. Unless you want to stick around and listen to us talk about. We don't have the budget for that.
Take
Have a
care,
good night,
thanks for
guys.
coming.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Okay, moving on to board business. So we have acceptance of the meeting minutes from August the 8th, 2023.
And I did correct the names on the first 2 items that Ms. White was not running the meeting at that point.
Right.
It just, sometimes the little short circuit happens upstairs.
Motion to accept the minutes dated 8/8/23.
Second.
Who was that?
Mr. Ryan.
Oh, sorry. Ms. White,
Aye.
Mr. Eddy,
Aye.
Mr. Marchand,
Aye.
Mr. Ryan,
Aye.
Ms. Burke,
Aye.
Ms. Eddy,
Aye.
and Mr. Moran.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Next on the agenda is a approval of the NEPR manifest for the sum of $15.82, which was postage and mileage related to the previous application we just discussed.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. White,
Aye.
Mr. Eddy,
Aye.
Mr. Marchand,
Aye.
Mr. Ryan,
Aye.
Ms. Burke,
Aye.
Ms. Eddy,
Aye.
and Mr. Moran.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
And next, Jen, the floor is yours. The survey is out and
Okay.
live, I think.
This should be fairly brief, sort of per our discussion at the last meeting. The housing survey is going to go out on Thursday. You got copies of the flyer at the last meeting. I made a small tweak in adding the town logo to it. The email blast to anybody who has previously taken one of your surveys will also go out on Thursday. Jim has the notice for it to be able to go on the town website. I'll be posting on social media. I also asked Jim to post to any of the town social media accounts, but I will also email the planning board I'll say the blurb and the photo that I have. If you are willing to post on your own social media accounts, it can always help. And we are planning to have it open until September 15th. My goal is at least 200 people with a hope of closer to 300 or 400 people. If we don't hit by probably about September 8th or 9th, that 200 mark, it's probably wise for us to extend it, but we'll be meeting by that point so we can have that call. I'll let you know updates as we're going along. I will be able to send out a link to the whole board so you're able to actually read the comments in real time. It'll just automatically update so you can see the response, but it is useful to have folks take a look at comments just as they're coming in, because if it's anything like our previous surveys, in Newton and other housing surveys, there will be pages and pages and pages of comments, probably spanning the gamut, but the more feedback we get, the better. And then there'll be a summary report that'll come out around the end of September from the results. So that's kind of my spiel for tonight. Unless folks have specific questions. I have to make a few more tweaks to the actual survey, which is why I'm not showing it right now for our discussion last week, but they'll be ready for Thursday.
Very good.
Sounds good.
It'll be going up on the town website Thursday morning. Jamie already has, and he's working on, while this meeting's taking place, he already has the flyer and is preparing a slide to put up. I assume Thursday would be preferred, or can he do it tomorrow?
If it's tomorrow, that's fine. I'm actually not going to have the survey be open and available to take until Thursday morning. If someone sees it ahead of time, that's not a big deal.
Okay.
And I do request all of you also take the survey.
Of course.
Quick question. Is there like a PDF for some sort of asset of the flyer with the QR code? So if we wanted to print off our own copies to...
Yep, I can send that around along with the social media blurb tomorrow.
Perfect.
I will be printing up Jen sent a sort of reduced version, and what I'll do is I will print it out as a quarter sheet in black and white and give them to Jack Kozak down at the transfer station, and he enjoys passing stuff out to people.
I talked to the guy that owns both the gas stations. He said he'll put it right on his door, so...
Oh, okay. Well, I planned on putting one at the bank and hit the 2 post offices.
Very good.
And for downstairs, I'm going to print the flyer on an 11 by 17 and put it in the hallway.
I will comment, we are also going to have some paper copies of the survey available at the town hall. We probably won't get a lot, but in case someone really does. And if someone were to email me or Jim requesting one, we can always send one as well.
Yep. I've actually already reserved space downstairs. Just as you come into the main vestibule, there's a bookcase. On the top will be the surveys.
Jen, what's the cutoff date for those, for getting those returned?
Right now we're closing the survey on September 15th. I try not to put a deadline on the paper surveys, but I try to have them trickle in a week or two after the closing. Beyond that, I have to end up wrapping up the survey, but if we get it a few days after the survey closes, that's not a big deal.
Thank you.
I did make mention of it at the last selectmen meeting.
Thank you.
Because we do have thousands of people that, tune in to watch the selectmen meeting.
Absolutely.
But I
Word
will,
of mouth is the main key here. So thank you.
I will put it out there again. We meet on the 5th. So I'll make sure that I
Perfect.
do mention it again. So
Yep,
that
and
they're
I'll be
not-
doing a couple blasts on social media about every week, just so
Yeah.
it stays sort of on the top of all of the
All right.
news cycle, for better or worse.
Yeah, Trish got a little excited, and she, like, the next day, she had it on the sign out there
Yeah.
on 108.
I know, you got me in trouble. If any paper surveys come in, what I will do is scan them and forward them to Jen.
Very good.
Anything else?
That is all I have for housing for this time.
Perfect. I will call the meeting at 7:16.
Sounds good.
Excellent.